Fantastic. Hey guys, it is absolutely fantastic to see you once again. I'm so glad that you decided to just take a few minutes out of your day to come watch this movie review. It really means the world to me. So today we are reviewing Captain Marvel starring Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson in the next step in the MCU. And I just have to say, it was better than I thought it would be. So heading into this film, I really was skeptical. Like, to be 100% honest, I wasn't looking forward to it at all. And a lot of that had to do with the politics and everything surrounding this film, especially the way Brie Larson decided she was going to approach how this movie was marketed, the message she was spreading and stuff like that. I just honestly wasn't a huge fan of that at all. In fact, a lot of the stuff she said really just bummed me out. So I have to say I wasn't looking forward to this film at all. But I'll talk about that later down the line. But we're actually just going to start off by talking about the film itself. So the film follows Carol Danvers, our Captain Marvel, and it was an origin film as well. We haven't actually had an origin film in the MCU for quite a while besides Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, but even Spider-Man wasn't an origin film per se because he had already been Spider-Man for quite a while. This is wholeheartedly an origin film. She's discovering her power, she's discovering who she is, and they did it in an incredibly interesting way because we discover her powers and discover more about her as she does. And very early in the film, we discover that she's got amnesia. And so we're on this journey with her because she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know what her powers are. She doesn't know any of this. And so we, the viewer, are able to learn this at the same time she does. And it helps engross in the story a lot more than I was thinking that it would. So after a series of events, Carol Danvers ends up on Earth. And there she runs into Nicholas Joseph Fury. Now, I just have to say, I really think that Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson, they had such good chemistry together. The best scenes in the film, in my opinion, were the scenes where they were together. Those were definitely the strongest scenes of the film for me. So talking about Samuel L. Jackson, oh my word, they did such a flipping good job on him. They had to digitally alter his face to make him look so much younger. And it honestly looked so realistic. I felt like I was seeing like Mace Windu in an MCU film because he honestly looked so young again. And it was just flipping impressive. I mean, like, hats off to those guys that works on him because that was just fantastic. I recently spoke about how Alita Battle Angel really had some fantastic visuals when it came to human CGI. But flip, they did it so well here as well. So this film really did have some strong points. I mean, we've already discussed the chemistry between Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson, how flipping young Sam Jackson looks. But there were a few other aspects of this film that I thought were really strong. The comedy didn't always land, but especially near the end, there were lots of jokes where I was just like, okay, that was really funny. So the comedy at times really did hit well. There were times, that, as I said earlier, where the comedy was a bit like this. Some of the jokes really hit, and they hit well. And another aspect of the film that I actually really enjoyed, I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much, is the way they structured the plot. And at the beginning, I didn't like the way they did it, but as the story unfolded, as I said earlier, we discover as Carol Danvers discovers. And that kept me going, oh, what's happening next? What's happening here? What's happening there? And they did change a lot of stuff from the comics. I'm a big comics fan, so I thought I knew everything going in. But they've changed it all, and some people will like the changes, some will hate the changes. But it does keep you on your toes. There are certain changes that I honestly wasn't expecting, and when it's revealed to you in the story, it's kind of just like I did not see that coming. So that was definitely a strength of the film, was the way they delivered all of this information to you, and it really works well there. So I've spoken about the aspects of the film I did like. I want to start talking about the stuff I didn't enjoy as much. And the one that I was actually really disappointed by was the action. In the trailers, we keep getting these words thrown at us. I think it was like stronger, faster, further, or something like that. Higher, further, faster, something like that. Which in my mind was going, ooh, okay, the action's going to be bigger, faster, stronger, more explosive, And maybe that was just me, like, that's my own expectations on the film, so I do apologize for that. But I was expecting with this super powerful character like Captain Marvel that we were going to have some seriously over-the-top awesome action. I mean, just think about Thor and Thor Ragnarok, or even just Thor and Infinity War. Think about Man of Steel. These are films with incredibly powerful superheroes. And the action is over the top, which is what I loved. And I was honestly expecting a lot of that in this film. And the action really left a lot to be desired, in my opinion. Especially in the final fight. It's over so quickly. And Ms. Marvel actually does so little. She pretty much just sends the enemies running because they're scared. And that's not the visual spectacle or action I was looking for. I wasn't expecting that. I was honestly wanting just a massive visual spectacle that I could just eat my popcorn and watch and enjoy and turn off my brain and just watch all these explosions and this awesomeness. And that just never came. And now my biggest disappointment with the film, and I really was hoping this wouldn't be the case, was Brie Larson's portrayal of Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. I really don't want to say it, but ever since I watched the trailers, I was worried because she just seemed to have this expression. Throughout all the trailers, she just seemed to have the exact same face, whether she was hanging upside down or she was getting out of an airplane or she was crawling out of a shipwreck, she always just had this face. And that really made me nervous because I want to watch someone engaged in the scene and giving a performance. I don't want. So I was really, really nervous about that going in. And unfortunately, that was the case. There were very, very few scenes where I actually went, she just gave a good performance there. There were very, very few scenes of that. And I don't know if it was her choice to perform this way or if it was the director or the script, because spoiler territory here. I'm giving you a spoiler warning, okay? Because we're talking about Captain Marvel and her characteristics right now, so I really have to unpackage this. The Kree don't like emotions and stuff like that. So whenever, Captain Marvel was like getting passionate about something, they were kind of like, no, calm down. So I feel like maybe in her performance, Brie Larson was trying to show that the Kree had suppressed her emotions, so she was a lot more deadpan. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. Maybe she was just acting like this. So I was honestly just so disappointed with her performance. And it sucks because I really, really enjoyed the film. This is the thing. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. This was one thing I realized while I was watching the film, is that I was enjoying the film. I really was. But I wasn't enjoying it because of Captain Marvel. In my opinion, Captain Marvel was definitely the weakest link of this entire film. I was watching the film because of what was happening around her. And a lot of that does come down to Brie Larson's performance. She just didn't captivate me. By the end of the film, we're supposed to be feeling pumped up. Yes, there's this powerful superhero. She's going off to do awesome superhero stuff. And I felt nothing towards that character. So it really frustrated me because I was enjoying the film. I really was. I had a great time with the film. But whenever Captain Marvel was the centerpiece, it just lost me. It honestly did. So I mentioned this at the beginning of my review. I spoke about Brie Larson and the way she was interacting with fans, the interviews she was giving. She just wasn't painting a positive picture of this film for many people going forward. And if you are somehow unaware of all of this drama that was going on, I don't know where you were, because it was absolutely all over the internet. We had people that were cheering for Brie Larson. We had people that were absolutely appalled by the things she was saying. And so there were lots of people that were like, wow, we really hope this film sucks. And there were other people going, wow, we really hope this film is awesome because of the politics and the ideologies that were going and being portrayed in this film. And I remember reading somewhere, this guy said, oh, I'm so sick and tired of them pushing politics in film. And I was like, oh, that's a good quote. And I ended up saying that quote myself. We were busy talking with all the guys in the office, and I was just like, oh, I'm so sick and tired of these films pushing politics. And we weren't even talking about Captain Marvel at this point. We were talking about Star Wars and the state Star Wars is in currently. But I actually disagree with that now. While I disagree with the message that Brie Larson was trying to push, I don't think we should ever limit the stories or the ideologies or the politics that we put into film. Because film is there not just to entertain, but it's there to spread a message. And that's the most important thing, is that film is there to tell a message. This is a feminist film. It was stated that this is a feminist film, and it was released on Women's Day. So you cannot separate the film from the idea that they're trying to spread. And I don't want to remove that idea. I don't want to take away movie makers' right to make movies with meaning away. Lots of my favorite movies of all time have got divisive and controversial messages behind them. I mean, Hacksaw Ridge and The Prince of Egypt, those are Christian-based stories. And lots of people would find that controversial and offensive, but I absolutely love them. So I don't think we should ever censor what people should be able to say or the politics they want to put in their films. because films are there to spread a message. And even though you don't agree with that message, you can't go, hey, don't make this film, I don't like this message. Just, you can't do it, you can't do it. Movies are an art form. You shouldn't be censoring that art, if that makes sense. But getting off of that topic quickly, I really want to say I appreciate the way that Captain Marvel actually handled this, because going in with the things Brie Larson had said and the way that they were pushing this whole her hero thing, and the future is female and all of that, I was worried that this was going to be a 24/7 feminist propaganda film. And by the end of it, to me, it was just a superhero film. I never once thought, they're really pushing this feminist agenda. So I actually just want to say well done to the team at Captain Marvel, because I didn't leave the cinema thinking, wow, that was a feminist propaganda movie. I left that movie going, there's a superhero. Whether I enjoy the superhero or not is a completely different case. I never left that cinema going, that is a feminist. So in closing, what do I have to say about Captain Marvel? To be 100% honest, guys, as I said, I enjoyed this film. There were lots of things wrong with this film. The action left me disappointed. The lead, Brie Larson, really, really disappointed me. But we had some engaging story elements. We had some really funny moments. And yeah, it was just another chapter in the MCU, which I did enjoy. There were a few things that are now canon that I was really hoping wouldn't be. You will completely understand what I'm talking about once you've watched the film. There's always been this one aspect of film, of the entire MCU, that's been shrouded in a mystery. And we finally discovered what that mystery is. And I was so incredibly disappointed by it. And I'm sure tons of people are as well. But guys, yeah, I would recommend Captain Marvel. If you are a superhero fan, go watch it. So guys, thank you so much for watching this movie review. I'm sorry if I did go off on a little bit of a rant, but thank you for sticking with me. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up. Don't be afraid to subscribe if you haven't yet. I'll see you in the next movie review.